Rants. Like and subscribe. Shout outs to Marvin Whitaker, one of my favorite subscribers. Always in rant mode. Always in rant mode. And it's nothing. If you want to get in rant mode, it's nothing. It's nothing. We don't ask for no money, just a simple subscribe. Some positive feedback in the comments. Maybe you can throw your favorite episodes out or something. And then you in rant mode. You in rant mode. We ain't asking for no money. But today, we are doing a rant though. We definitely doing a rant. And to think that I don't know Raj, Rerun, and Dwayne is crazy. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, come on, man. They out South Central. You know I know people out there. And this is one of those rants where it's episode, right? We ran on an episode, right? And this is about that time when Rerun got fat shamed throughout the whole episode with the Rockets. Remember, he was supposed to be joining the Rockets and whatnot. Y'all remember, right? And I mean, come on. It's random rants. So, I guess we can start from the beginning. And to do that is to give you a brief history on the Rockets. Everybody know you got PC Peter. You got Pretty Toes Twan. I mean, and the others. They don't even say the others. But they're a mean dancing group. They pop locking. It's the mid-70s. Come on. Pop locking. Break dancing. All that. They doing it. You know that the move when the arm dangle. You know when y'all hold y'all elbow up at like a 90-degree angle and the arm dangle. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They doing all that. All that. Right? And they a notable dance group. You may see them on Soul Train. You may see them on your local stations. Like where I'm at. Funky Feet. At Dino's. You know, like they got like local little dance little shows. This is the mid-70s, right? You know, y'all gotta understand. And the Rockets, they making a name for themselves. They popping, actually. They popping. And they touring around South Central LA. And, you know, everybody can't get on Soul Train. You know, they've made their appearances, of course, but right now they doing their thing and they on Soul Stuff. The local dance show in LA. That leads us to the episode, right? I think you guys remember. Y'all seen the episode. Y'all already know. Y'all saw it, right? Rerun, Dwayne, Raj, D. They're all watching Soul Stuff. And the Rockets is dancing. Of course, right? They're doing their thing. You guys see them. And, of course, like Rerun, he's excited. This is his thing, right? Like, he's so excited that he starts dancing. And you know Rerun about that. He's the man when it comes to that dancing. Just like Gina and Pam, every chance they get to sing, every chance Urkel gets to play basketball, every chance Rerun gets to dance, oh, he's going to show that. Oh, and he does it well. And so Rerun gets to pop locking in front of the screen, you know, and we see this man. After the Rockets is done, we see this guy right here, right? Wolfman Jones. And he just got finished smoking a Cuban cigar. I mean, and to be honest with you, to even understand this dude, or I should say this cat, you gotta have a jive dictionary. You know, like how they talked in the 70s. And I don't know if, you know, y'all saw the remake of Shaft in 2000s, but yeah, they gave us a jive dictionary, and I still got mine. So I understood exactly what he was saying, right? And I got it verbatim. I'm going to say it for y'all. And I quote, "They gonna be opening this Saturday in the PM at Sydney's on the Strip. The Rockets are 5 shooting stars, looking for another star to join them in their solar system. That's right, all you pals and gals. Bring your talents and neat feet to the studio today or tomorrow, and you could be the lucky local focal the Rockets gonna stick in their act, and that's a fact. Become a Rocket and get a little bread in your pockets." And now up next, Gladys Knight and the Pips. And boy, when Wolfman said that, I got so excited. I was like, bet. You know, I'm about to watch me a classic episode of What's Happening, and we get to hear Gladys Knight sing her lovely, lovely single, Midnight Train to Georgia. You know, I'm happy. I'm excited. Oh, but no. Rerun and his fat fingers, he cuts the TV off so quick. And Dwayne's like, "What are you doing? Like, I'm trying to see Gladys Knight and the Pips. Are you kidding me right now?" Rerun is like, "Look, did you just hear what Wolfman said? They're holding tryouts for the Rockets. And you know I'm that man when it comes to this dance, and you know I'm moving my hips. My thighs get to shaking. I'm that. And I think I can really do that, you know." And they like, "Rerun, you're fat." And like, seriously, like Raj starts off first, right? And the thing is, Raj, he hit him with a jab. He was like, Rerun, really, if you become a Rocket, it's not even enough outer space for that. You're fat. You know, but see, when D, his sister, gets wind of that, she goes for your jugular. Like, nobody's playing. Like, everybody know D's the funniest on the show. If y'all not familiar, nobody's wittier than D on that show. Nobody's messing with her. Man, D was like, "Oh, really? It's go time?" D knew it was a green light on Rerun. Soon as Raj said that first joke, D jumped in and was like, "Yeah, you're too fat." Boldly, right? Just off GP. Then she was like, Rerun is like, look, I can't help being fat, okay? It runs in my family." And she was like, "You know I'm witty, I'm cute. Nobody runs in your family. Rerun, they all waddle. Boy, and you look like you got a potato sack with suspenders on. You thought we wasn't going to see that?" Then she made that little cute face that she make. She makes that face when she knows she got you. Like, "Yeah, I got him. Ain't nobody messing with me on this show. Man, I be making people cry in middle school. Are you kidding me? Ask about me. I'm D. Thomas. These little dudes ain't messing with me." And Dwayne, he like, "Look, I'm not even on joke time with you, Rerun, but all the Rockets are skinny. Now, can you please cut on Gladys Knight and the Pips?" And I was with him. You know, I'm trying to hit Gladys Knight. Y'all want to make fun and like y'all know Rerun sensitive. I'm trying to hit Gladys Knight. "He's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia, leaving on the midnight train." That's neither here nor there, though. Let's get back. I apologize. Y'all know I get in that. Y'all know I get in that mode. Y'all know how I get. Y'all know. But anyway, let's get back to it. Rerun, like, I'm not cutting the TV back on. And Big Mama Thomas walk in, right? With the groceries, right? And Raj just goes right back, you know, kicking a limp body at this point. D already did the damage, right? He like, "Yeah, well, you know, if I was Gladys Knight, I'll fire the 3 guys and just hire you as one big pip, looking like Thunderbutt from Hook. You know, cooking Rerun. Giving Rerun what he want. You know? And like, D pops back in and was like, "Yeah, you know, you can record for Mo Ton. Fat Heavy Freddy. That could be your name." Big Mama like, ho, y'all stop with these jokes. Stop with these fat jokes. Because you know I'm not a size 2. Goodness. D sucking up like, "Yeah, y'all stop." She like, "Look, D, go upstairs. Look, y'all, nobody want to be fat." And Rerun, Rerun, he playing victim. "Yeah, I hate being fat. Feel bad for me, even though I can dance better than everybody." And Dwayne like, "Look, if you get on the Rockets, let's just say you was to make the team, right? You can dance all the time, and you'll probably lose at least 10 pounds a week. So that'll be good for you. And Big Mama, she jump in like, yeah, over 12 weeks, that's about 120 pounds, and that's a start. Like, like she's the smallest person, right? And that, of course, Rerun sensitive. He's in his feelings again, as always, right? And of course, Big Mama steps off, and Rerun like, whatever. Look, let's step over to the audition. I think, we can still make it. Boom, right? They like, all right, let's go. And that leads us to the next scene. We at the auditions, and Rerun looking at this dude in blue like, man, this dude's a bum. Like, I'm going to spank. I know I can spank him. If they said he was all right, I know I can spank this competition. And Raj noticed, he's like, well, I see everybody has a manager, right? So I'm going to go politic with this guy over here. He's like, hey, how you doing? You a manager? And dude like, yeah, I manage this guy right here. And he like, oh, all right, well, I manage Rerun. And so now, he out here posing as Rerun's manager, And when they call, they like, yeah, hey, Freddie Stubbs, you up next. What music you gonna dance to? Of course, they like, we ain't know all that. Roger like, look, I can, I can sing for you if you want to do that. Dude like, look, the dude like, look, I got you. We gonna play some music, right? I mean, and of course, Rerun crushes it. Crushes the dance competition. It gets to the point, the dude they trying out for, the dude named Gary, he like, yeah, hey, Rockets, hey, get in and dance with him. Come on, get in and dance with him. He looking all right out there. And they get to doing their thing, right? And Rerun is a natural dancer, right? So he all for the first couple steps, but he, give him 2 seconds, he right in with it. Getting it. Like he looked like he blend in, like he belonged with him, right? So they like, all right, you good. They feeling him. And he holler at Raj, the dude Gary. He like, yeah, hey Raj, what's your number? We gonna take your number because we looking at Rerun. Raj, they pass off the information, and they about to leave, right? But Dwayne like, oh, I left my sports magazine, right? So he go holler at the other agent that Raj was talking to, his client. He like, hey, that's my personal sports mag, I know you reading it and whatnot, but we was about to leave. And this dude, he a grown man, Slim. This dude is a grown man. You can tell he's not really getting a lot of work like that. Like, he needs to fire his manager for real. Because he's not about to get this job. Spoiler alert. He's not about to get this job either. And he bullies Dwayne out of his sports magazine. Like, so I'm reading it. Like, dude, this dude is a child. And he like, Dwayne like, look, I'm just going to sit here and wait for you to finish. Like, I'm not about to sit here and get beat up by a grown man over something that I bought. Like, that's crazy. It don't matter if it's 1976 or what year it is, right? But nonetheless, though, right? So, as he's sitting down waiting for Big Bully Man to finish, he overhears the conversation between Gary and the agent. He's like, look, don't even have Bully Man waste his time. We're going to go with the fat guy, and the agent is just giving Rerun what he want. Like, he's Dancer, Prancer, and all the other reindeer. Like, you're going to really go with the fat guy? Really? My guy's just as good. He's not fat. And Gary's like, well, that's the thing. We need him to be fat. We want him to be fat. Comedy is what makes it. And we feel like we can just insult him a little bit, have somebody write a couple fat jokes, and we'll be in good money. He can possibly be permanent, We're going to talk some money with him. And he was like, hey, hold on. Hey, Dwayne, matter of fact, you're his friend. Let him know he got the job. Let him know his name's going to be Fat. What's his name again? Freddie? Like, yeah, Freddie Stubbs. His name's going to be Fat Freddie Stubby. The Rocket, or he might be a blimp. We don't know what we're going to call him. The four rockets and the moon, for all we know. And now Dwayne like, dag, really? All right, I mean, that's like kind of messed up, but okay, And in the next scene, You see D on the phone, right? And she's probably talking to one of my cousins. I know she was good friends with a few of my peoples back in the day, but that's neither here nor there, right? But they were talking about one of their favorite cartoons. And Raj like, look, we need the phone, man. We really like, we waiting on the call. Rerun could possibly get this job with the Rockets, and D finally gets off the phone. And they're like, man, you think we missed the call? But while they're saying that, Dwayne walks in. He's like, oh, dag, what's up? And how you get that stain on your shirt? He was like, man, I got a chocolate malt. I needed a drink. Because he's kind of depressed because he got to tell, Rerun, right? And Rerun like, so what's going on? Because we waiting on the call. And Dwayne like, oh, no, they told me. You got the job, Rerun. And they happy. They excited, Raj like, yeah, see, I'm a manager now. I told y'all, and Rerun like, yeah, I got this on my own, like ain't nobody really helped me, and he wasn't really saying it to like disrespect Raj. He was just like, like all that fat stuff is out the window. I'm a rocket now, and guess what? I'm gonna be on a diet. All that little chocolate soda you doing, Dwayne, that's fattening. See, I'm on a diet now. I'm a rocket. I'm gonna look like one now too. So yeah, let's go. And they like, all right, that's good. That's motivating. He like, not only that, I'm about to go to Denson's and grab me some threads so I can look like a rocket. Did they say what time, did they tell you anything about an audition or anything? I mean, like, when I got to come to like a rehearsal or anything? And Dwayne like, yeah, they did. They said come tomorrow at 3:00 to the same studio. He like, say no more. I'm going to be there. I'm about to go to Denson's now. For y'all who don't know, Denson's, me and my friends, we actually shop here when we have Pops parties. Pops parties are when we, gather around. We gather around and we all wear like tacky outfits and whatnot. But they sell very nice 70s, little leisure suits and little things like that of that nature. If you into that fashion and whatnot. Nonetheless, getting back, my man Rerun, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Denson's. I'm going to go get fly on them. All right. And none of them was messing with me for real. So I think I could be the best dancer in the Rockets, so let's go. And D, of course, is like, dude, who you can't fit nothing in Denson's? And Rerun back in his feelings again. D jumping on him like, what's wrong with this dude? Like, they don't even have dressing rooms that fit you. Like, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Like, hurting his feelings. That's what D do, though. Raj like, look, all right, calm down. So Raj like, look, I'm going to go to Denson's with Rerun. We going to pick out something, get something fly. And Dwayne, was you trying to go? Dwayne like, nah, because he still feel bad because he ain't really tell him, right? He like, nah, I got this stain on my shirt. I'm going to see if I can get this stain out, They like, all right, well, we'll see y'all later. Boom. And in the next scene, right, you see my man PC Pete. He trying to get his steps in order because he's off the juice, but nonetheless. Then you see Gary, right, and he's bringing in Sam Persky, who's the best joke writer in the business at the time. I do remember him on the roast of Richard Nixon. That was pretty good. He was pretty funny on that, so I will give him that credit, But he's sitting down and he's like, okay, so I wrote a couple jokes for the new fat guy in your group. And here's how we'll bring him out. Here's our new rocket. Well, let's just say he's more of a guided mess. And everybody's loving it. This is 1976. And he's like, he's so big, he had to be weighed on the Richter scale. He's giving them jokes. And mind you, like I said, this is 1976. So it's funny back then, right? He's saying Persky. I mean, he dominated that roast of Richard Nixon. Everybody saw it. But anyway, nonetheless, right, as he's telling his jokes, PC Peter is sitting there. And you notice the juice is starting to kick in. He's high off the swoosh. See, he's high off angel dust. If you guys don't remember, you guys can go back. If you guys haven't saw it, go back to the Marlon Wayans laced joint episode when he hit the twack joint before the audition. Yeah, this guy, that's PC Peter. That's what he does though, but that's how, he gets into his like dance groove and whatnot. Like, that's his drug of choice, and I don't really judge him for that, and you shouldn't either. So anyway, let's get back on topic. And in the next scene, you see Big Mama and Dwayne talking, and Dwayne has already explained what happened to her, right? And she's like, well, are you going to tell Rerun? And he's like, well, I don't think he would care. He usually laughs when we call him fat. And she's like, well, I used to laugh when people would call me fat, but really I was crying on the inside. And Dwayne doesn't even know, like, he asks this next question. He don't even know he's disrespecting his friend's mother, right? He's like, well, what do you do, like, when people make fun of you for being fat? And she was like, well, I'll say that's not nice. And then I'll sit on them, And then she's like, she just like goes on this wild tangent. I don't know if you guys remember this part of the episode, but she was like, Dwayne, it's not fun being fat. I suffer from high blood pressure and sugar diabetes, but I don't let that stop me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drink me an ice cold Pepsi out of the glass bottle. I'm going to drink one a day. I'm going to drink one every day. Back in the 70s, they had the Pepsis in the glass bottles, right? Y'all know that, right? But yeah, she's on this wild rant. She's like, yeah, I'm going to drink an ice cold Pepsi out that glass bottle every day. And as a matter of fact, I just took down a plate of pig feet and mustard greens. So you think I'm going to let these doctors tell me anything? No. And Rerun shouldn't either. And you need to let him know that, And then right after she gives that little speech, right? Raj comes in and he's like, Rerun is back. We're back from distance, and he got these fresh threads on, looking like the Clemson Tiger, and he's excited, and Dwayne really don't want to burst his bubble. He's like, yeah, I'm a rocket now. I'm the man. No more Freaky Freddy. No more Fat Freddy. No more tubby butt. Yep, I'm up now. Y'all got me messed up. I can't wait to change on y'all. Wait till I get my first check. Yep, I'm changing on y'all. And Dwayne like, look, I don't want to bust your bubble. And Big Mama like, look, I just told you my business. Sugar diabetes, high blood pressure. I got gas right now from the mustards. I drenched it in endless hot sauce, baby. I don't care. I'm Big Mama Thomas. So you better tell him. And Dwayne is like, yeah, look, Rerun. They only hired you because you're fat. And they actually plan to insult you, man. And he's like, well, how do you know? Big Mama jumps up so quick, like, well, he overheard it. Now what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Because I'm sick of y'all going back and forth about this nonsense. Y'all making me lightheaded. Whole time, she ain't even take her medicine. That's what's really making her lightheaded. But nonetheless, it's the 70s. And she's mad. And you can't talk back. It's no talking back. This is the 70s. And Big Mama's like, look, I'm supposed to be taking my medication, but y'all some stupid little kids. And I got a plan. How we can get the Rockets back. Now, mind you, Rerun, I know you want to check, and it's going to cost you some money. But you going to feel good because they called you fat. And everybody agrees with this. Rerun like, forget it. Forget the money. I could use it, but they called me fat. So let's go with the plan. And in the next scene, you see the host, he's pressing out Gary. He's like, well, where's the fat guy? You guys are about to go on. And Gary's like, I don't know. He was just at rehearsal. He must have stepped off, and the host's like, look, the show is about to start, and Dwayne steps in. He's like, yeah, they like, well, where's the fat guy at? Where's Fred at? He's like, oh, don't worry. Fred is in the bathroom. And he wasn't lying about that. Rerun was in the bathroom. He broke his diet. He ate 4 chili dogs from Rob's place earlier, and he actually had mud butt. So that's why you don't even see him in this scene. He's really in the bathroom. And nonetheless, Gary's like, look, all right, the Rockets, just go ahead and go on. Rerun said he'll be ready for his call, so go ahead. And the Rockets go on, and they're dancing as usual. They're doing their thing, pop locking, break dancing, and whatnot. And then you see Pretty Toes Tonio. He introduces Freddie. He's like, here's our new rocket. Well, he's not a rocket. He's a blimp. Meet big fat Freddie Stubbs. And, they about to do their little dance and whatnot, right? And, Rerun is he's supposed to come out, right? But Raj comes out. And he comes out from the other way and just sabotages the whole set. They're like, well, the fat joke's not going to work. And the host like, you guys won't be either, buddy. And Gary's like, look, just go ahead and dance. Do y'all thing. And they dance and they're trying to block Raj throughout the whole set. They're trying. They're doing their thing. They did the best they could for the most part. And at the end, you see Raj. He finally gets his little two-step. He's doing his little Hercules jumps. He breaks off into a little split and even hurts himself at the end. And Big Mom and Dwayne, they're loving it. They're loving it. They're like, we got to get back on the Rockets, And meanwhile, Rerun doesn't even, he missed the whole thing because he had mud butt from the chili dogs from earlier, nonetheless though. So in the next scene, we see them coming in the house, all of them happy and whatnot. And we find out that the host fired all the Rockets from the show. And they don't care because they called Rerun fat. Mind you, Rerun was just looking up to these people, but sometimes when you meet, your idols, you may not like that interaction. But nonetheless, it's the end of the scene. So Big Mama letting them know. She like, I got this nice, big chocolate pudding cake. She said it just like that. Chocolate pudding cake. And Rerun's like, look, you can skip me. I'm still on the diet. And then Big Mama see him and she like, I'm dead wrong because I got sugar diabetes. Like, yeah, skip me too, even though I just said it, right? Even though I'm the one who brought it up. And Dwayne like, you can get me a small piece, because he feel a little bad. And Raj like, screw y'all. I'm getting a big piece. Yep, I'm bony. I don't gotta watch my weight. I ain't sick like you, Big Mama. And Dwayne walk up to, Dwayne, he funny. He walking up to Rerun knowing he on a diet. He like, it gotta be hard passing on that chocolate pudding cake with that creamy whipped cream topping and that gushy chocolate middle. That gushy chocolate middle. Like, he's so descriptive, right? And Rerun like, dude, I just had like 4 chili dogs. You feel me? Like, I just had crazy mud butt. Like, I'm not really pressed to eat that cake, man. Get away from me. And Raj come back, he like, dang, I thought there was some cake in there. Like, you see, Big Mama, there ain't no cake in there. What's going on? And they like, what? And D walks downstairs. And you see her. Y'all see her. She ate the whole daggone cake, man. And they laughing about it. And I know y'all think like, well, D spoiled. She get away with everything. No. This is the 70s. What y'all don't know is that girl had to eat chocolate pudding cake every day for dinner that week. Yeah, she ain't never ate chocolate pudding cake since then. You feel me? That's how they used to go in the 70s. Those parents, they want to teach you a lesson, but they gonna like basically borderline like abuse you, but it's gonna make you a stronger person, It's gonna make you a stronger person. That's how it was back then, anyways, And that's the end of the episode. Y'all know that's the end of the episode. But I'm sure you guys, it's random rants, right? Y'all want to know, well, what happened to the Rockets, right? Like, you mentioned them, said they got fired. Well, PC Peter, Pretty Toes Tonio, all them, the others that they didn't name, they were doing pretty good. They stuck together. Although they was fired from that particular show, they still made appearances other places, and they actually did a wonderful skating tour. They did a nice little skating tour, as you guys could see. They were together until probably like the mid 80s, You know, like you gotta understand, like this was like, you know, after like the gangster rap and all that came in, they just was perceived corny and whatnot. And you know, they retired and went on in the light nonetheless though. But like and subscribe. Random Rants.